Hello viewers, welcome to CEC lecture. Myself Dr. Preeti Jagwani. I am Assistant Professor from Department of Computer Science, Aryabhat College, University of Delhi. Our today's topic is Prim's algorithm, which basically falls under the umbrella of greedy techniques. So today we will be covering Prim's algorithm with the help of its basic idea. First of all, we will understand what basic idea Prim's algorithm is covering, what is this all about, along with an example, and then within this lecture we also compare it with Kruskal's algorithm. So coming to Prim's algorithm, it is also known as Jarnik's algorithm. It is basically a greedy technique which is used in order to find a minimum spanning tree for a weighted undirected graph. So let us say we have a graph which is undirected as well as weighted, and we need to find the minimum spanning tree for that particular graph. So within the available choices, one of the choice is Prim's algorithm. In order to recall what is minimum spanning tree, so minimum spanning tree is basically, we can say, for a particular graph it is the subset of edges forming a tree, as we are saying minimum spanning tree. So it is subset of edges forming a tree, and it is including every vertex. So whatever vertices are available in the graph will be included in the minimum spanning tree, but not all the edges. So edges, it will be covering a subset of edges with all the vertices. And as far as the term minimum is considered, the total weight of all the edges in the tree is to be minimized. As it is the weighted graph, then within the minimum spanning tree, whatever the total weight of all the edges of the tree is, that should be minimum among all the possible choices available. That tree is basically, we can say, is a minimum spanning tree. So in order to build a minimum spanning tree, or in order to find a minimum spanning tree, when we use Prim's algorithm, what procedure we are going to apply? So in sense of procedure, this Prim's algorithm is building that minimum spanning tree by taking one vertex at a time. It will start from an arbitrary vertex. There is no fixed vertex to start. It will start from an random vertex, and that random vertex is known as, commonly in common terminology, it is known as root, or the starting vertex, we can say. And at every step it adds the cheapest possible connection from the tree to the another vertex, and also it treats the nodes as the single tree and keeps on adding new nodes to the spanning tree from the graph. So every node in the graph available is a single tree, and it keeps on adding new nodes to the spanning tree from the given graph. So this is the procedure it will follow. It will start from an arbitrary vertex, and at each and every step it will add the cheapest possible connection from the tree to the another vertex. So here, if we are looking for cheapest possible connection, this term cheapest possible connection gives us a complete feel of greedy technology. This is the step where the algorithm is becoming greedy, because it is looking for the cheapest possible edge, or the edge with the minimum weight, we can say. So basically here Prim's algorithm is maintaining two set of vertices, one set which is already included in the minimum spanning tree, and another set of vertices which has not been included yet. So initially the set with the vertices already included in the minimum spanning tree is empty, and the another set of vertices is full, and at each and every step one vertex from the not included vertices will be taken, and it is included, or it is combined in the set of minimum spanning tree. and at every step it is considering all the edges that are connecting these two set. So there will be, at a particular point of time there can be multiple edges that may connect these two sets, but among those multiple edges only the edge with the minimum weight is considered. Now if we are talking about a group of edges that is connecting two set of vertices in a graph, in the normal graph theory terminology that set is known as cut. So basically that group of edges that connects two set of vertices is known as cut. So we are here actually trying to find a cut, and then we will be picking the minimum weight from that particular cut and include that vertex into the minimum spanning tree set. So in order to sum up, we can say we have two sets of vertices, one which is included in minimum spanning tree, another which has not been included yet. And now what are we focusing on? We are actually looking for the group of edges. There can be multiple edges which is those who are connecting the two set of vertices, and we will look for the minimum weight edge from that cut and include that vertex which is at the another end point of that edge with minimum weight. That vertex will be included in the minimum spanning tree set. So this is the procedure, this is the we can say broad outline along which your Prim's algorithm works. Although there are different issues and different points to be taken care of when we talk about the actual implementation or actual execution point of view. So we will be definitely covering that. Apart from picking minimum weight edge from these edges, we need to be careful that after inclusion of that particular edge, the set which is having minimum spanning tree vertices must not violate any conditions of minimum spanning tree, and the most important condition is formation of cycle. So there should be no formation of cycle within minimum spanning tree, because we are talking about tree, we are not talking about a graph. So tree, as you all are aware, that tree has to be acyclic, it must not contain any cycle. So whenever we are going to add one edge in the minimum spanning tree set, we must be very careful that inclusion of that edge must not introduce cycle into the minimum spanning tree. That has to be taken care of. Now let us take a very kind of simple example, we can say. So as shown on the screen, it is a graph which is undirected and weighted, having 5 vertices A, B, C, D and E, and it is having some weights. For example, BC is having a weight of 10, AC is having a weight of 3, and so on and so forth. Now we need to find the minimum spanning tree for this particular graph. So as the procedure starts, as I have already told you, that we will be choosing any random starting vertex. So let us choose B, for example. So the B we have chosen, and looking at implementation point of view, we can say if we explore the adjacency list of B, we have D and C. These are the two vertices which are connected to B by edges BC and BD. So one BD is 4 and BC is 10. So first of all, what we have done, we have picked one vertex, random vertex, which is B, and then we have seen what are the possibilities, what are the possible edges which are going from B to other vertices. So in this figure we can say that initially the set of vertices of minimum spanning tree was empty. Now after picking B, we have included B into that particular set, and B has been removed from the set of the vertices which are not included into minimum spanning tree, because B is now included. So after inclusion of B, we will look at the adjacency list and we find BC and BD with the weights 10 and 4. Now we will look for minimum here. So basically now there are two edges, we can say, two edges into that particular cut which are in the process of joining the set which is containing B and the set which is containing all the other vertices. So what are the possibilities? The two edges, one is BC, another one is BD, and now as per the procedure we need to look for minimum into this. So minimum is BD and we have chosen BD. So as you can see, BD has been thickened. Earlier it was in dashed form. In the third stage of the figure we have chosen BD and it has been given a thick line. Now coming to the vertex D. So now if we explore the adjacency list of D, we can say it is having two vertices in its adjacency list. One is C and another one is E. So DE is having weight 1 and as you can see DC is having weight 2. So now the edges which are available in the cut are DC and DE, because now the set which is having the minimum spanning tree, which is on the side of minimum spanning tree, is having two vertices which is BD, B and D, and one edge connecting B and D both. Now all the vertices are falling on the other side. Now what we need to do? We need to find a cut such that we can join these two sets. So we are at point D, and from point D we have two edges which are joining this particular one particular vertex set to the another, and these edges are DC and DE. And obviously as we are talking about greedy algorithm, we will be choosing the minimum one. So minimum one is DE. So in the next step, as you can see, we have chosen DE also. Now DE, and then the minimum among all the available choices is DC also. So we can safely include DC, but please be very careful that at each and every point we need to look for that whether it is introducing a cycle, yes or no. We will go with inclusion of edge only and only, or we will go with adoption of edge if and only if it is not resulting in the formation of a cycle. For example, in the left side of this figure, if you consider one edge which is CE. Now if we include CE on the minimum spanning tree side, it is going to result in a cycle of D, C, E and D. So obviously despite of having despite of being the being one of the minimum of the choices available, we will not include CE because it will result in a cycle. So CE will not be included, and then finally we will include CA, which is having weight 3, and it is also safe to include CA because it is not resulting in any cycle. So final spanning tree, if I can say, is on the right hand side of the figure, containing BD, DE, DC and AC. So obviously as you can see in this minimum spanning tree, the edges are not complete because we have already talked about this, the fact that there is going to be a subset of the edges which will be included in minimum spanning tree. But yes, all the vertices will be included. So is A, B, C, D, E, all the 5 vertices have been included, and some edges which actually qualify to be inside the minimum spanning tree will join there. Now in coming to the comparison of two algorithms, which are Prim's algorithm and Kruskal's algorithm. Both are these algorithms, as we are aware of. We have also seen our Kruskal algorithm in the you can say in our previous lectures, and in Kruskal's algorithm, Kruskal algorithm is also an algorithm of finding the minimum spanning tree, but both the algorithms, Prim's as well as Kruskal's algorithm, are having different strategies in the sense, if we look at the Kruskal's algorithm very closely, it will you can observe that it is going to it may give you a minimum spanning forest in a possibly disconnected graph. But if we talk about Prim's algorithm is going to find the minimum spanning tree in the connected graphs only if we talk about its basic form. Although we can modify the Prim's algorithm to include or to include the minimum spanning forest in a possibly disconnected graph, but as far as fundamental or basic form of Prim's algorithm is concerned, it work for a connected graph, while Kruskal's algorithm may work for a disconnected graph. That is the basic we can say difference between Kruskal's and Prim's. But along with this, we have many other differences also. For example, when we run Prim's algorithm separately for connected component of graph, it can be used to find minimum spanning forest also, that is fine. But Prim's algorithm initializes with a node, and Kruskal's algorithm initiates with an edge. So, Kruskal's algorithm, the basic unit from which it starts is basically an edge, while in the Prim's algorithm the basic unit from which it starts is a node, we can say, or it is a vertex, and then we look for the minimum edges or the greedy choice in both the algorithms. Then Prim's algorithm span from one vertex to another, while Kruskal's algorithm select the edge in a way that position of the edge is not based on the last step. This is again a very significant difference. In Prim's algorithm, the position of the next node to be selected is definitely dependent upon the last step, where in the Kruskal's algorithm it may because it is as an intermediate result, it is giving a forest, so it can pick random edges also, and after picking those random edges, at the end it is going to join these many of the edges. So, Kruskal's algorithm select the edges in a random way, or we can say on a different way, which are not basically based on the position of the edge on the last step, but in Prim's algorithm the span from one node to another is definitely dependent upon the position of the node in the last step. Now in Prim's algorithm, if we see, the graph must be connected, as I have already told you, in its basic form, while Kruskal can function on the disconnected graph. Looking at the complexity, yes, complexity also differ. Prim's algorithm is having a time complexity of order v square, where v is the number of vertices, and for Kruskal's the time complexity or the optimized time complexity can be order e log v, or it may be order log v. Now coming to what kind of graphs these two algorithms are basically suitable. So, in terms of asymptotic time complexity, we can say both the algorithms are equally fast for a sparse graph. If we consider a sparse graph, that means the graph in which the number of edges is we can say less as compared to v square. That is perfectly a sparse graph, and if we consider a sparse graph, asymptotic time complexity of both the algorithms is equally fast. They are kind of, we can say, hand to hand. but for the graph that are sufficiently dense, Prim's algorithm is a better choice that can be made to run in the linear time. But as far as Kruskal's algorithm is considered, it is more suitable for a sparse graph, and we will use Prim's algorithms with, we can say with a sparse with a dense graph having lots of edges. Then, as I have already told you, that Prim's algorithm is significantly faster for the dense graph, and Kruskal's algorithm performs better in the typical situations like sparse graphs. But what is the reason behind that? That why it is better for a sparse graph? Because of its choice of data structures. As you may be able to recall, in the previous lectures we have covered Kruskal's algorithm. So in those in that implementation we have seen that it uses disjoint set data structures. So because of those simpler data structures, Kruskal performs better in case of sparse graph, while Prim's algorithm is using data structures like heap and priority queues for its implementation. It is more we can say inclined towards better complexity in dense graph. So let us say we have a graph with v vertices and e edges as in the standard form. Kruskal's algorithm is going to run in e log v time, and Prim's algorithm can run in order e plus v log v time, but here please be informed that order of e plus v log v is an amortized time. It is not the asymptotic time complexity, it is the amortized time complexity, along with the use of one very special data structure, which is Fibonacci heap. So for Fibonacci heap, amortized time complexities of operations involved in priority queues like extract min and some other operations is very different from the normal heap structure. So Prim's algorithm, if used, if implemented with the help of Fibonacci heaps, then we are surely then we can surely give the amortized time complexity in order e plus v log v. So basically we can say in order to sum up the difference between these two graphs, these two strategies of calculation of minimum spanning trees, we can say Kruskal algorithm is better for a sparse graph, and the choice of data structure, we can say it is operating on some simple data structure, while Prim's algorithms can give you some very promising time complexities, but amortized time complexities if we use some complicated, a bit complicated kind of data structures like Fibonacci heap and all that. So for a sparse graph we have a choice as Kruskal's, for dense graph we have a choice of Prim's algorithm. As far as operational details are concerned, Kruskal's algorithm operate on one edge at a time. Prim's algorithm operates on one vertex or one node at a time, we can say. Then as an intermediate result, Kruskal is basically having the forest as its intermediate result, while Prim's algorithm is having one connected component, that is tree starting even in at the starting step also. As far as choice of data structure is considered, yes, they are different. So now let me sum up this whole lecture, which says we have started with a quick recap of minimum spanning trees, and with the available choices of algorithms in order to determine the minimum spanning tree, we have started the Prim's algorithm. We have gone through the whole procedure in a brief way, and we have seen that how this Prim's algorithm operates with the help of an example also, and then we compared it with the Kruskal algorithm, because both are the choices for minimum spanning tree. So hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you.